Hello, how nice to see you. Today, Mr. Mouse and I are going for a walk. Would you like to come with us? Come on then. Off we go. Make sure to close the gate, Mr. Mouse. We're going round the back of the house. And down to the Blue Bridge. I wonder what's in the water. Here we go along the path. It's after the bridge. I can see some flowers in the grass. Do you know what they are, Mr. Mouse? They're called dandelions. Bippin the rabbit likes to eat their leaves. There's a dandelion flower and something called a dandelion clock. No, Mr. Mouse, it's not a real clock. But people used to pretend to tell the time, by blowing the seeds off it. And you would say 1 o'clock for the first blow and 2 o'clock for the second blow, and that's how you would know what time it was. But I don't think it was real, do you? No. Do you want to play blowing the seeds off a dandelion clock? Come on then. Good blow. That must be 1 o'clock. Do you want to try again? That must be 2 o'clock. And again? 1 o'clock. Let's carry on walking now, shall we? We're coming up to another crossing of the brook now, Mr. Mouse. This is another bridge. There's the brook. When Uncle Dan and Auntie Sarah and Auntie Brockby were little, the path used to be on that side of the brook, and the crossing of the brook was here. And when Dan and Sarah and Brockby were little, they used to call this area Sandy Hills, because it was very sandy then and you could climb up it. There's a horse in this field. Let's go and see if we can see one today. Can you see a horse, Mr. Mouse? Oh yes, 2 horses. It's very shady under the trees. We're going up towards the road now, Mr. Mouse. Do you want to cross the road and carry on? Okay. Cross the road when there's cars coming. Here we go. Continuing on the path alongside the brook at the other side of the road. Along here we can see some bluebells, some yellow buttercups, and some white cow parsley. Lots of flowers, aren't there? This area is called Brookfield Park because it's close to the brook, of course. Lots of fields and trees. When they were younger, Dan and Sarah and Auntie Brockby used to call this area coming up ahead Sandy Hills too. I think children still climb on that. We'll go and have a look, shall we? Up ahead, before you get to Sandy Hills too, there are some steps over a big pipe. That's fun for climbing on. Up the steps we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, are you tired after that? We've got to go down the other side yet. The hawthorn trees are covered in little white flowers. Hawthorn blossom. That's very pretty, isn't it? When I was a little girl, because this comes out in May, we used to call this Mayflower. Here you can see a little bit more why they called it Sandy Hills, because there are sandy patches in amongst the grass. Some birds live there and they're called sand martins. Yes, that is where Dan and Sarah and Becky used to play when they were little. There's another hawthorn bush with May blossom on it. So this very straight path we've come to now used to be a railway track. Shall we cross over and go down that path? Down we go. We're now going into another bit of parkland that they call Scion Park. What you'll find down here is that you can't see the brook anymore. I know, because it's gone underground. What's that you're saying, Mr. Mouse? You think it should be called Overbrook because it goes over the brook and you can't see the brook? Okay, we can call it that, can't we? It's to call Overbrook Park because you can't see the brook at all, but it is actually running underneath this field. We'll go and get it and catch up with it at the other side, shall we? Okay. I can see some white flowers in the grass here, Mr. Mouse. Shall we go and see what they are? Do you know what these are, children? Yes, that's right. They're daisies. On the other side of the road is another big park. This is called Grange Valley, but the steps do look a bit dangerous. We'll have to be careful going down there, Mr. Mouse. Yes, I will hold your hand, don't worry. It gets quieter the further away from the traffic we get. That's quite nice, isn't it? These lovely big trees at the side of the brook are called willow trees. They're very nice, aren't they? Yes, I can hear the birds singing too. I think they like it here. Oh, this is a very squishy place that we have to cross to get to the path at the other side. We don't want to get our feet wet, do we? Phew, we're safely across. Some of these willow trees are very old and big. I like the way they arch across the path. This kind of willow tree is called crack willow because as it grows, and sometimes as its very brittle branches may break, they make a cracking noise. And here, at this big willow tree, we have to cross the brook yet again. It's now on the other side of us. Again, it's not a proper bridge, it's just a path. Let's carry on. Here, there are 3 big standing stones. They're a mystery. I'm not sure what they're there for. There was a big battle here once with the King of England. Yes. So maybe they're to commemorate that. I don't know. Carry on. These stones are much, much bigger than you, aren't they, Mr. Mouse? There's a particular plant I'm looking for down here, Mr. Mouse. And this is the nearest place I know it grows. I can see some up there. Do you know what this is, Mr. Mouse? It's wild garlic and one of my favourite things to eat. I'm going to be a bit naughty and dig some up to plant in my garden. I'll just take a little bit. There we go. I've got some roots, so hopefully that will grow in my garden. Shall we stop and have some lunch and have some wild garlic to eat here, Mr. Mouse? Looks like a good spot. I do like a bit of cheese and some garlic flowers. Do you like them too, Mr. Mouse? Oh, they're nummy. Let me try some. Nice cheese. Nice garlic flowers. Is that good? It's nice to have a sit down after that long walk, isn't it? Mr. Mouse's bottom was getting wet, so he's sitting on my coat now. And he's making a daisy chain with the daisies he picked earlier. That's very clever, Mr. Mouse. We're home now, and we've planted the garlic. We've planted one in a big trough with some other plants, and one in a little pot of their own, so we'll see how they get on. Here's the first one. We forgot to put this one in the pot, so we've put it in a trough of its own with some lilies and some potatoes. Looking a bit flippity-floppity at the moment, aren't they? Oh dear, I hope they cheer up. Mr. Mouse? Oh yes, I'm not surprised you're tired. Let's go back indoors and put you down for your nap. Go past the herbs, past the tree, and all the flowers in baskets. The tree, and into the tunnel that takes us into Annabel. Let's take your scarf off and get you ready for a nap. There we go. You're all tucked in. Have a nice sleep, Mr. Mouse. See you later. As you can see, Mr. Mouse is up again now. He's been drawing pictures of the things he saw when he was on his walk. And he also asked me to draw a map of the route we took, and he's been colouring it in. Would you like to see it? It starts with a picture of Mr. Mouse. And it's like a story. It says, Mr. Mouse goes for a walk. He's quite excited about that. We started off at Nana Doreen's house. We went round the backs, up to the Blue Bridge, along the brook. We found the old path that Dan and Sarah and Broppy used to go along when they were little. We went past the first sandy hills. We saw some horses in the horse field, crossed the road and got to the long pipe, went over the steps, found Sandy Hills 2 and went across the third crossing. And then we had to cross the old railway track and go down a little road into Syon Park. Syon Park is where we saw the daisies. Mr. Mouse thought that should be called Overbrook Park because the brook actually goes under it. At the end of Syon Park, we went across the second road and we saw where the brook came out again. We walked along in Grange Valley and saw a wet patch that we had to be careful with. And we saw the old crack willow trees. And instead of following the path, we went up a grassy path and we saw the standing stones. That was one of Mr. Mouse's favourite bits, and he got to sit on the stones, which were much bigger than him. Then we went up through Grange Park into Boylton Wood, and we found some wild garlic, and I brought some home. Yes, we also had some to eat while we were there with some cheese, didn't we? Did you like that, Mr. Mouse? You did some good colouring in there. Well done. Maybe you'd like to go for a walk, and when you come home, draw some pictures of the things you saw. And maybe the older children could do a map
to show us where they went to. That would be good. Bye for now.